Welcome to Four is a Party. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Four is a Party. I am your Dungeon Master, Carmelo Santiago Jr., and I am here with AJ Maggio.
Hello.
Kevin Carter.
Hi.
Ashley DeSantis.
Nope, it's Joelle Harmon.
Wow. And Jonny Wayne.
Howdy.
All right.
So I'm the only one who has a character.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool.
Last episode, we did
Play
not
yourself
meet
into it.
everyone's
We know
characters.
this.
Let's start off with a little recap of all the fun stuff that happened last session. Last time, we started off by meeting Dante, who we met in a party for nobles run by his family, the Golden Hills. The environment was a bit too much for Dante, and after he tried to excuse himself, he ran into his father, Doran, who reminded him that this is his future and he'd be wise not to disappoint him. After continuing to disappoint him, he and his mother, Aurora, were sent to Karth, a place where Dante could take care of his mother and get her some fresh air outside of the Elven Woods. After being there for a few months, unfortunately, Aurora did not get better, and she passed away with Dante there to see it. But oddly enough, when he went to go tell the servants to communicate to Dorn what had happened, he was already there. After going over Dante, we moved on to Simon. Simon had the very fun privilege of explaining who beat him in a fight, and there we met his creator as well, Dr. Veronica Natron, who, after lifting his head up a little bit to see the results of the battle, reminded him to take a good look at the champion and that it's good to have a goal. We fast forwarded a little bit to Dr. Natron's lab. After having a crystal inserted into his chest, Simon woke up to Dr. Natron in his face, telling him that he had to go now and that Mystic Metal was being raided. You decided to follow Dr. Natron's commands, either on your own volition, but also a combination of just perhaps that command was the only thing that's ever been programmed in you before. You took the tunnel that she pointed you towards, and the wall closed behind you. Shortly afterwards, you heard the sounds of magic and explosions, as Dr. Natron did not go willingly. But you weren't able to see the aftermath or able to help. Instead, you continued to follow the one command she gave you, and that was to go. After a very long walk, you found yourself at the bottom of a well, and at a hatch near it, you met Garrett Larson. Someone who was waiting for you on the other side and was expecting Dr. Natron to be there with you, but much to his disappointment, he was not, or she was not. Then we met Morgan. Morgan was found helping run their family's diner in a small town called Walden at the foot of the Romaril Mountains. Walden suddenly got a lot more popular thanks to the amount of air travel that they were getting, as travelers would come to Walden to then travel to Romaril since there was nowhere to go on top of the mountains. Despite this extra traffic, to make extra money for their family, Morgan works a second job at the coal mines in town. While there, during a blasting day, Morgan was caught up in the explosion, which led them down a separate tunnel in the mines, which eventually found them in a huge cave clearing where they discovered Infero, a giant robot who asked Morgan to help him remember because he seems to have lost his memories. After accepting a gun from Infero, Morgan was given magical powers. After getting out of the caves and doing their best to explain to their foreman what happened, word quickly got back to Novea that some ancient ruins were discovered, and researchers started coming in who promptly closed down the mines in favor of historical excavation. So Morgan unwittingly lost their second job, but after a few weeks of blasting and clearing out the excavation site, they started taking parts of Infero away on airships back to Novea. Morgan, who agreed to help Infero remember, was instructed by Infero to follow them to where they're going. They might help me remember too. And then from there, we met Joelle. Opening with her being in prison, we had a little bit of a flashback with Joelle and went into how she got arrested. She had visions in the night of her older sister who passed away before she even got to know her. And in those visions, her sister Julie told her that she needed to gather 2,000 gold in order to help her be saved from wherever she's from. She didn't seem to know much detail, but before she could give you anything extra, she was swallowed up by some sort of shadow and the visions ended. And then you woke up that morning. So after some time of considering what to do and coming up blank, you discovered that there's a way to broadcast the teachings of Saloon to a wider audience. You decide to take advantage of this after talking to your father about it. He, not being one with technology, said he trusts you to take over that part of preaching since you've been following him since a child. And pretty quickly, you began to expand Saloon's influence in the port town of Brill and started receiving donations from all these people. That idea came back in your head that what if I just took a little off the top? This is my jurisdiction. No one's really going to know. And after fighting it for a little bit, you finally gave in and started taking some of the money that's being donated. After a couple months of doing this, she finally gets the money she needs to make the 2,000 gold payment to Saloon. She goes to the location that her sister Julie describes, and as she goes to make the drop off, she gets arrested. Fast forward a bit, we're back in the prison cells, and it ends with her meeting her cellmate, Clara. That's where we are now. So, kick things off. Let's start with Dante.
Cool.
Dante, your mom had just passed away.
Thanks for reminding me.
Getting right into the fun stuff. And your father, Dorn, is already there. He had just told you, no need, I'm already here. And after seeing you, taking a look into the room, he pauses for a moment. You see that he's dressed in all black, like as if, he's dressed to mourn. And he goes, Dante, I think we should have a talk.
You think?
Yes. And it's not about what you think it might be.
I know what it should be. Now. You show up now. Cool. Not an hour ago, not a couple days, not a week ago, not at any point that, you could have seen mom, talked to her, just been there. Now you show up and you are ready to grieve, quote unquote.
I am. I'm ready to grieve the loss of my wife, but you have to understand that someone had to pay for your life in Garth. Someone had to pay for her treatment. Someone had to pay for you guys to live comfortably. And as the father of the house, I figured that is my responsibility to bear.
You didn't have to be here the whole time. I understand there's things that need to be done. You're really good at doing them. Could one of those things every once in a while been being a good husband? I don't even care about you being a good father, all right? But she deserved a good husband. And with a man of your influence, your raw charisma, you should have been able to do that. So either you can't or you chose not to.
You see that he takes in what you're saying. He seems slightly irritated by it, but then he speaks up. I was doing what I thought was best for her, and I thought what was best for her was trusting you to take care of her, because I knew you couldn't handle life back in the manor. You couldn't handle the nobility, and yet you still couldn't do this right. Let me tell you this, Dante. The first time you decide to speak up and grow a spine is to tell me off when your mother, my wife, died in your care. No son of mine is going to talk to me that way. And Dante, at this point, you have failed me too many times. You are no son of mine. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you as much as gold as you think you need to change your name and not associate with this family anymore. Because not only do I think you're not fit to continue the Golden Hill name, it is also dying in your hands.
I think as he's speaking, Dante, like, fully that momentary like flash of like rage and indignation caught him off guard. And now that he realized what he has said and he's registering what his father is saying, gone. It is fully fled in the face of his father's words and his own actions. Because, you know, at the end of the day, his dad's right. At least so he sees it. So fully whatever position he had taken up, you know, just crumbles, shoulders slump, and just if that's what you think is best, then clearly you're the smart one here. So sure, the name never fit anyway. If we're all being honest. So it's not the worst thing. And I assume this starts now.
Yeah. He just nods to everything you're saying, as if he's agreeing to what you're saying about yourself, about the name not fitting, about being this, like, about this being the best, and that he is the smart one. He goes, yes, it starts immediately. Doran says, I will make sure that your mother gets a proper funeral in our family's mausoleum back in Golden Hill Manor. But as for you, my assistant here will help take care of your funding. He gestures to what appears to be a high elven lawyer, just ready to handle the businesses of dealing with, wills, family members passing, and the legal situation of disowning your child, as pleasant as that is to say.
It's a very specialized practice.
It's a very specific practice. So with that, Doran doesn't say anything else. He simply goes into the room with Aurora, closes the door behind him to have his own private moment. And this lawyer takes you to a different room of the house to discuss your payment and what happens from here.
I think as he closes the door, Dante briefly looks back and says, see you around, Mr. Goldenhill.
I think with that, we're going to fast forward a little bit for you, Dante. You have received, your lump sum of money.
Very generous stipend.
You got severance pay, quite literally.
That's so rough.
Yeah, holy crud.
Severance from your family.
Yeah.
I hated that company anyway, honestly.
So we fast forward a little bit. Dante, where do you think you go following this?
I think immediately following, because Dante does not know the world. He knows, it's not even a case of he was sheltered. It's that he kind of sheltered himself. And then when we moved to Karth, he really didn't want to leave his mother. So any areas immediately outside of Karth, he's grossly unfamiliar with. So I think he probably just asks the lawyer, what's the nearest village, by the way? And then just goes there. And then from there works his way around because he doesn't feel comfortable staying in any one place too long. And it's for no particular reason. It's mainly just the fact of he knows logically that the money he has won't last forever, and so it'd probably be good for him to learn how to work. He's just really bad at it. So a montage of just Dante, as like an apprentice carpenter, accidentally like nails his mentor's hand to a board of wood, gets kicked out the next day, goes to a new town. Like Dante, like, you know, doing construction with a bunch of like big burly guys. They give him a giant like thing of wood to haul. He takes it, stumbles. One of the other dudes tries to help him. He just goes, "Oh, thanks," hands it off, and that dude collapses and gets injured. Like a crossing guard for a bunch of kids. He stops to tie his shoe halfway through the road, and then a carriage comes.
Oh my God.
Just absolutely
What
cannot.
happened to the kids?
Yeah, are the kids okay?
Dante left town the next day. So Dante absolutely has no roots anywhere, but he's been to a bunch of places, and a lot of the money that he got, gone. Just like, you know, some of it was like spending extravagantly because he doesn't know what living normally looks like. And then some of it was just bad ideas. Just like, wait, so you're telling me that if I give you 3,000 gold pieces up front, you will double it and return it to me in the next month? Sure, and you're a prince too. That's crazy. All right, I am on board. This is how I'm gonna get my fortune back, and I'll dwarf my father's fortune. I mean, some random dude's fortune who has no connection to me. And then never saw that gold again. And so I don't think his money lasted very long. But I think over time, just like he's like, small villages aren't working out because as soon as I mess up, I kind of become known as the guy who messes up. I need to go somewhere big.
You struggle for a long, long time. 15 years of struggling, wandering around the countryside, getting swindled, getting played by multiple people. After traveling for as far as you could and deciding that a bigger town is the right call so that if you mess up, you don't have to get chased out of town or run away because you think you're going to get chased out of town. You end up in King's Hall, which you heard is a new up-and-coming town that's getting busier every day. With the discovery of this giant magic crystal that has recently been located to a more proper kingdom, now established as Novea, King's Hall had been not left behind, but serves as a stopping point between there and Novea itself. So you go there. I'm assuming you're looking for work. You don't have much luck in the first few days. You find yourself a place to stay with whatever you have left. And one night, or one evening, while searching and looking for a job, you see one of the taverns in town, the Lucky Duck, is having a comedy night. I think it might be fun. Just check out. So you go there. Before you even get in.
Remind me, isn't the Lucky Duck from Tangled?
Is it?
That's the Lucky Duckling. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I just called it the Lucky Duck just because I just thought it was a fun name.
Yeah.
Disney, famously litigious.
It's crazy. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Parody.
The luckless duck.
The luckless
It's
duck.
different enough.
That's really funny, actually.
Also very in character.
Oh, we can change it. We'll change it. So, we'll do it like this. So one night, you're wandering around town after just applying to multiple different locations and getting the classic, "We'll call you back," or "We'll reach out to you soon."
Dante fully believes it every time.
Great.
Oh.
You're walking by a popular tavern known as the Luckless Duck. The sign is a drawing of a duck getting shot by an arrow. But as you walk by, you hear laughing. And outside, you see a small poster for a comedy club that's happening that night.
Yeah, you could use some laughs.
So you go in, and you hear more laughter erupting as you enter. There is a man up on the stage. It's like a small impromptu stage, just a slightly raised platform, just a couple more inches off the ground than everybody else, where you can kind of overlook the crowd. Everyone just has their drinks and food and laughing and having a great time. You see this man rather tall. He has soft features, dark black skin, and seems to be wearing his workman's garb. Just a pair of overalls that go into rubber boots and a surprisingly neat and tidy undershirt despite the overalls being slightly stained. Seems like this guy came right from work and felt like he had some jokes to crack, and everyone's loving it. You hear that he's cracking jokes, and the audience is loving it. So much so that it almost seems like it's almost like they're laughing not too hard, but almost as if these people haven't had a good laugh in a while, and this guy is really just giving them what they want to hear. You head up to the bar, and you see a sign-up sheet for people who want to do stand-up and run jokes. Some names are crossed off of people doing lines, and the only person who hasn't been crossed off yet on the list is Garrett Larson, who appears to be on the stage right now.
I fully think that it's just like a sign-in sheet for everyone in the bar to sign, so I just put my name on there.
It's like a registry almost.
Oh my God.
I don't go to bars a lot. Maybe this is just something that they do
You
here.
don't go to bars a lot? So you think you have to sign in at the bar?
And maybe it's a private place, you know?
Yeah, like there's
Just walked into a private bar.
Listen,
Yeah.
the fancy places have like lists, maybe this is the list. Maybe now they know to expect me next time. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Wow.
It would be rude if I showed up again. I was
gosh.
like, I was here last time. Well, why didn't you write your name down? I don't want to be that guy.
Wow. Fantastic. So
That's
you write
buttoned
your
up.
name down and, you take a seat. But shortly afterwards, it seems like Garrett Larson finishes his set and he just goes, "Thank you everybody for laughing at my jokes. My name is Garrett. It was a pleasure laughing with all of you." And you hear the crowd just cheers and claps for him. And you're like, "Yeah, Larson, he fixed my oven one time." Yeah, everyone just clapping. And then you see the bartender, this bigger, burly, like half-orc woman, grabs the list. She goes, "All right, who's next for the comedy club special? I haven't seen this name before. Dante?"
It's Ritrita.
Okay. I didn't know how to say that.
No
So
one
Dante Ritrita, huh? Well, you signed up for the comedy club, so you're up.
Yeah,
Just instantly give in.
that was on purpose.
Yeah.
Here I go.
Do you see that the crowd is looking at you expectantly as you walk up? They're like, "Oh, new guy in town. Oh, okay."
The dude right before me killed it. The worst possible time to go on stage.
The stage is nice and hot for you. Everyone's drinking and loose, ready to laugh. And some new guy in town shows up and goes up to start cracking jokes. Yeah, you better reach for those dice. I'm just going to ask you... I'm going to ask you to tell me a joke, and I'll determine what kind
God.
of role you're going to get. Depending on how good the joke is, you might get advantage.
Oh.
Okay.
Just like dangling that advantage
Yeah.
right out of your
Tell me a
Well,
good
here's the
joke.
thing. I'm deciding right now whether or not Dante is funny. Is the thing.
It's like it now.
His first time doing comedy.
I don't think it's for you to decide now that I think about
Yeah,
it.
just tell us a joke. The dice will decide if
tell us a
Dante's
joke.
funny.
If we laugh, this is the
We are the audience right
Stipulation?
now.
Yeah, this is the
listening to you.
stipulation.
Floor is yours. Everyone's watching.
Okay. Hey. Nice to be here. I'm new. I'm Dante. Hi. Nice to meet you. Shakes hand with like a random person in the front row.
Just really close up. Hey, yeah, nice to meet you, man.
Hi.
Good luck. Have fun.
Thanks. I don't really do that, but I'll try.
You look just like that.
So I've never really I've never really done comedy before. But as you can see from me being sitting earlier, I sure am adept at stand up.
God.
Oh my god. So bad. Oh my god.
That was so
That
bad.
was something. So is there like triple disadvantage or not? Okay. So
Is
I'm
that
ready
the
to roll on
only joke you
disadvantage.
tell? Is that the only joke you tell?
No, just starting the crowd. Yeah, this is just like you get one joke out just to kind of see how the crowd feels and
testing
how
the
the rest
waters,
of
testing the
it
waters.
goes.
Is everyone right now?
What do I want to give you for
I'm
this?
fully ready to roll on
I
disadvantage.
think I'm gonna give you disadvantage because no one knows who you are. These people seem to have known Garrett, but they have no idea who you are, and you just told such a corny joke. So yeah, just go ahead and roll, I guess, performance with disadvantage.
One was a 20.
Whoa!
The other was a 17 plus 6.
Whoa!
Jesus
Wow!
You killed it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think I like finished the joke. There's a solid beat of just silence, and then someone goes, huh, and then that breaks the ice.
So to that end, there is just like a beat of silence where no one knows what to say. No one knows like what the like room is feeling. And then one person starts laughing pretty hard. And it's Garrett Larson. He starts laughing so hard at your joke, and then everyone kind of follows suit. It's like when someone starts a clap and like an auditorium. It's like that. He laughs, and it becomes contagious, and everyone starts laughing, and it helps you. I guess it makes you feel a little more at ease.
Yeah.
I won't make you tell any more jokes.
Thank God.
23 was really impressive for disadvantage. You tell jokes you got like a solid 10 in you. You
They're
tell
all
jokes for a few
variations of the
minutes.
standing up
Yeah.
joke.
And for some reason, it's always a hit. It's always working.
It's like when your friend group has a bit that's really funny, but like you just keep harkening back to that bit, and everyone's laughing at the last time they laughed at it.
Yes.
Like
Yes,
the jokes aren't funny
absolutely.
anymore. But it's like,
Yeah, you definitely break the rules of or the rule of threes.
yeah, I go the rule of tens, bro.
The rule of tens. Every joke is like a 1 minute setup for the same joke, just slightly different.
Just
So you-
to stand up.
One of the jokes is literally me just pulling a chair up on stage and then, huh? Just standing up.
Oh my god, you're great. Garrett's like, oh, this guy gets it. This guy gets it. Oh my goodness. So yeah, you finish your stand-up routine, we'll call it, and everyone claps for you. They're just like, we don't even know who you are, but we loved it. And afterwards, Larson comes up to you and goes, that was hilarious. Thank goodness. I was worried that I didn't really give the audience what they wanted. So for someone to come in and just come up with their own set like that, amazing.
I gotta say, people laughing at you sounds a lot like laughing with you, but it feels way better in the latter category.
He nods in agreement, not sure how to touch that subject. He just goes, yeah. Anyways, where are you from? I feel like we haven't seen you around here. How do you think Dante is dressed right now?
Oh, definitely. When he started traveling, his clothes were way too nice for like traveling around. But like, I think right now his like general attire is just like mismatched hodgepodge of like clothing items from different jobs that he's worked. Like, you know, when like you start a job, they're like, oh, you need to kind of look like the rest of us. So here's this shirt that no one was using. It's literally just like a million hand-me-downs, none of which fit. And it's like they identify him as working for like 15 different places.
Yes.
like Randy's Auto Care, and then like Johnny's like wall washing on the back. Like,
Yeah, auto care that exists. Anyways,
Or
you
porch
see
care.
that
carriage care.
Larson just looks at your getup and he goes, "Yeah, I haven't seen you around here. What do you do?"
Oh, you know, I've done a lot of stuff. You know, I've worked around. You know, I'd say I'm equally as proficient doing just about anything. I'm kind of in between jobs right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Well, I really liked what you had, kid. How about you join me as a magic technician for King's Hall?" You hear the guy again. "Yeah, he fixed my oven that one time. He's really cool."
I think we know about the oven, but I really appreciate this dude's enthusiasm
He's
about
just a
it.
huge fan.
Yeah. I think in the face of like first all of this positivity, and genuine attention pointed at him, combined with this remarkably generous offer from this dude who seems like a really cool guy. I think Dante just starts crying. I think
Alex is like, whoa.
Yeah, I think he's like trying to smile, because like growing up, his father did not like when he was crying, so he's just like, that's yeah, I think I got no plans. I think that sounds great.
Great. Why don't we get a drink? Why don't we get a drink and talk about it? And you spend the rest of your evening talking to Larson. He just, gets to know you a little better. It's up to you how much you want to tell him about everything you went through.
I think as part of the whole like disownment, I signed an NDA, which was made abundantly clear. like the lawyer went point by point, you are not allowed to talk about what your name used to be. You are not allowed to talk about who your father is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just making sure Dante understands.
Yes.
Talking to a small child. So he definitely just talks about the last 15 years of his life, hopping between cities. But more or less, I think he's just letting Garrett do most of the talking. I think he's very much just I need someone to talk to me like I'm a person, and this dude is fulfilling that need right now.
Yeah, Larson does that thing where you say something and then he says something because it reminds him of something, and then he talks about that thing that he's reminded of, and that just takes the conversation to a whole new direction. But by the end of the night, he just goes, I really like you, kid. I think you should come work for me. How about you show up at the Maggio technician office in Town Square tomorrow morning?
Absolutely. Yeah. What should I wear? And is this fine? Is this?
You got too many logos on you, but if you got
I
a
can
pair
rip
of
those off
overalls,
right now.
Okay. Don't. If you've got a pair of overalls and some boots, should be good. I'll get you a uniform shirt. We got plenty at the office.
I'll find boots.
All right. Everything is closed. But yeah.
I think after that, Dante goes to wherever he's staying, which is just the cheapest inn in town. Terrible neighborhood. He's had his shoes stolen at least 3 times before people realize that he wears size 15 shoes.
Oh my God.
And they really have no point in stealing them. So now he can just walk through and no one even bothers because there's nothing else that he has that they want. And
so sad. King's Hall's not that bad. But you're in the seedy part of town.
Yeah. And when he gets home, lights a candle and, kneels down, just, hey, Mom. So I know I haven't really had good news in a while. But I think I have good news tonight. I think I found a job. We were really worried about me holding down a job. I met a really nice guy, Garrett Larson. You're gonna hear a lot about him in the future. I made people laugh. It was an accident. It was. I don't want to say it's an accident like it's a bad thing. I didn't plan on it, but it worked out. I stood in front of a room full of people and just talked, and they liked what I said. And it felt good. I think whatever job I hold next, I think I should go back to that, because you're the only person that I've made happy before, and that room full of people, I think just for a little bit, I made them happy. And I think if I keep doing that, then maybe one day I will But I think that's what I'm meant to be doing. And I think if I get good enough at it, then I'll be able to do it for myself, and maybe I'll become successful. Though I know that you never really cared about that. You always just wanted me to be happy. So that's what I'll do. I'll make others happy for me, and one day I'll be happy for you. Night, Mom. Love you.
Very sweet.
And then he goes to the he didn't specify what time in the morning, so he's at there like 4 a.m. just like morning time.
Yeah.
And just stands there
Just waits.
until Garrett shows up.
Yeah, Garrett shows up at like 6:30, like 2.5 hours later, sees you there and goes, "Early. I like your attitude." Has no idea how long you've been waiting here to be like,
"Oh yeah, I just
can
got
tell
here."
You really like this. He's like, "Oh, I forgot to ask. Have you worked with Maggio technology before?" Please tell me what you're rolling for, by the way.
No. But I am equally proficient in all things. So not specifying that it's not at all. But
Yeah.
So I think a little bit of tutelage, and I'll pick something up.
Well, like I said last night, I like you, kid. You're very funny, and I like your attitude. So I don't mind training someone from the ground up. Besides, I could use the extra help around here, because right now it's just me. And he unlocks the doors to the office and guides you in for a day of training, orientation, gets you your nice uniform shirt.
It's the first piece of clothing he has that doesn't have holes in a long time.
Yeah, very neat, just like his are, even though his overalls are stained. I think from there, we're going to move on.
Sure.
From Dante to Simone. Simon, you had just met Garrett Larson. It was cold and raining outside. You can feel the mud sinking under your feet. You can smell the rain against your metal body, has that metallic, almost like sharp scent to it. You hear the rain coming down. You see Garrett Larson moving ahead pretty solemnly after learning that Dr. Nation wasn't coming with. I think you have this moment before you follow him where in that entire time that you were walking, you were only focused on what Dr. Natron told you to do, and that was to just go. Now she's not here to give you new instruction. Garrett Larson is here, and he said that he'll take care of you from here. But for the first time, you feel this sense that what you decide to do, how you decide to move and act, is entirely up to you, which is very foreign. You feel that for the first time, you could just not listen to this person. You could just walk away if you wanted to. You could follow Garrett Larson. You could see what his connection to Dr. Natron is. But you also have, like, impulses. Just sudden thoughts that are like, I could do this. I could do this. I could. Which is not something you've ever thought before. You've never thought to yourself that you could do something because you were usually told to do something. Albeit, that's an aggressive way of putting it because Dr. Natron was very kind to you and never really wanted you to feel like you were being told to do something. But even thinking about that, you get that feeling, or you get this thought, or it's just like, I never felt, is something that kind of keeps playing in your head when you think about Dr. Natron not wanting you to feel a certain way. And feel just keeps coming up as you experience all these new senses out of this tunnel in the rain. And you feel you feel in your chest where that crystal was put in, it suddenly feels a lot heavier. You feel this sense of deep sorrow as you stand there, watching Garrett Larson walk further away.
I think as I'm standing there, I'll look back at where I just came from, kind of thinking about the last couple things that I've heard from Natron, mainly after losing to the champion. And I think I just kind of keep thinking about, like, it's good to have a goal. And then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk after Garrett.
All right. So you follow after Garrett. It seems like he's focused on his own thoughts right now and kind of assumed that you would follow him. Do you say anything to him as you walk together? And do you walk, like, beside him, or do you just follow behind him?
I think for now, I'm just following behind him, just observing and still kind of processing, like, everything that's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's, like, a lot of emotions and feelings that's new. It's really foreign. So I think this is, like, a nice time to kind of sit back and process those.
Sure. You guys walk in the rain for a little bit. In the distance, you start to see buildings pop up. It seems like you guys are getting closer to some sort of town. He turns to you as you reach the edge of town. He goes, "This is King's Hall. This is my home. And as long as you're with me, this will be your home as well. I'm not sure what happened to Dr. Natron, but she told me to be at that hatch where you came out of, so I can only assume that means she wanted me to make sure you were okay." I'm going to ask you to make an insight check real quick.
15.
15. Okay. As he says these things to you, you can tell that he looks at you as he says it, and he's still looking a bit confused. You're not entirely sure why, but you can tell that he doesn't understand why, instead of Dr. Natron, a robot is here instead. With a 15 insight, you also get the sense that perhaps he doesn't understand who you are now and what you just went through. It doesn't seem like he understands that you are capable of higher thought and that perhaps you're just another buddy bot.
I think after processing that, like, you know, we're both kind of just as confused with each other. I think I'm just gonna flat out tell him, just, I don't know why I was sent here. I was just following the last order I was given, but now that I'm here, I think I have a purpose.
All right, you see that Larson looks at you in a new way when you mentioned that you have some purpose, and he almost looks surprised, like he still doesn't fully get it, but he understands that a buddy bot wouldn't tell someone that they have a purpose without being able to tell them what that purpose is, because they're programmed to do what they're told. So in a way, you kind of put it in this perfect sense where Larson goes, "Okay, so you're not just a buddy bot then."
Why would you believe that?
He he points at your chest and the painted on suit appearance with the little bow tie. He goes, "Well, you certainly look like one. You've got the blue metal exterior and the painted on suit that all buddy bots have. So I assumed that you were, but when I say things, you're asking me questions, which is confusing me."
Correct.
Larson just nods, goes, "All right then." He goes, "Well, like I said, I'll be taking care of you for as long as you're comfortable with. But if you're looking for something to do while you find your purpose, you see he's like putting his words very carefully because he's still like, what is happening truly? And it's also a man you've never seen before. If you're looking for something to do while trying to find your purpose, I work as a magic technician here. He gestures to King's Hall. In King's Hall. You could stay with me. You could stay at the office. You can work with me. I won't say for me. It's usually not the way I like to think of things. Just something to get you started with trying to find your purpose. He says that word again, purpose, as he is still trying to figure out what this dynamic is and what you really are. And it seems to you that he knows Natron somehow, but perhaps that they haven't communicated in a while. So he doesn't know who or what you are.
May I inquire one thing of you? I'm going to direct that to Garrett.
Sure, he seems surprised again that you're asking questions just because you can, and he's just like, go for it.
What was your connection with Dr. Natron?
He just sighs. Takes a moment to think. Seems to be a little bit of a sore subject, but he tells you anyways. Dr. Natron and I used to be in a relationship.
Oh yeah.
I knew it. I so desperately wanted
They
to
were
be
buddying their
boned.
bots, if you know what I mean.
Anyways.
That's my mother.
That's my mother.
And this
You
your
punch
daddy.
him. I punch him.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's so
But
good.
yeah, so he takes a long moment, and he goes, Dr. Natron and I used to be in a relationship, but as things changed here in King's Hall, and Novea became the kingdom proper, she wanted to go to Novea to continue her research, while I preferred staying in King's Hall, looking for a much more simpler life. And I think our lives just grew too far in two different paths. Me and Dr. Natron used to have a relationship, and that's how I know her.
Thank you.
I have a question.
No.
Just for my visualization.
Yeah.
Dr. Natron was like 300, which like transference to human years is like what, 65?
I guess. Yeah, she was an older gnome, yeah.
Okay. Garrett Larson. I always pictured him as like early 30s max. No?
No.
Don't know where you
Okay.
got that idea.
He was like 50 when you met him.
Oh, okay.
So now he's like 60.
I just wasn't sure if Larson liked it wrinkly. I don't know.
Wow. I'm so
What
glad
did
that I'm
you
cutting this
just
conversation.
say?
Wow. Anyways,
What?
let's just move on. So yeah, as you thank him, he just nods. And he goes, no problem. Definitely strange to just put that out there when we just met, but it seems like you're important to her. So I'll do my best to take care of you. He says that really delicately, as in like you're a machine and I'll help maintain you and give you a place you can be. It is just like, what is happening? But yeah, so he says that.
I think now is when I'll, accept his offer. Not really sure what is going on either. Also kind of lost, but knowing that Garrett had such a close relationship to Natron probably alludes to like, this is a good guy.
Okay. So you accept his proposal. He leads you through. He goes, okay, well, let me take you back to the office, get you out of the rain, and get you set up. So he leads you through town, winds through a bunch of just streets. It's pretty quiet at night. Nothing's really going on. Takes you through like the residential area, takes you past the Novea satellite campus. Kind of points things out as he goes along. He points out that. He points out the Luckless Duck, and he goes, that place, great time. I do stand up there sometimes. Just
stand up.
Yeah. He just is saying things to you, not sure what to say. And eventually you get to town square. And he gets to the entrance of a building. It's about, just 2 stories, stone walls, very sturdy, older looking building. Perhaps it was here as one of the first buildings of King's Hall. And he goes, all right, this is the office for our magic technician shop. This is where you can stay. Plenty of resources here for you, like tools and different parts of different projects that either got canceled, just in case you need like repairs. I could always take care of that for you. He's like really, again, just really like, do you need this? Do you do it? What's happening? Because it seems like you're smarter than the average buddy bot. He goes, so this is where you'll be staying. And thankfully, I got some help recently, and they should be able to show you the ropes. He opens the door, and he just goes, all right, I'm back. Sorry that took way longer than I anticipated, but thank you for putting in the overtime for me when I asked for it. Simon, you walk into the office, and you meet Dante for the first time. Morgan, you are currently watching parts of Pharaoh be whisked away on airships back towards King's Hall in Novea, where these researchers are from. And Pharaoh has just told you to follow them and to help him remember.
Well, I mean, don't have my second job here anymore, so I can't really help out with the whole diner a whole lot. So probably would be to the advantage actually going to there. Maybe able to help pay so that other diner does not, in fact, close everything up here. Granted, I guess that's the least of the worries, considering everyone apparently getting sick here lately. Jeez. Well, regardless, I guess either way probably leads me to going where those researchers are.
All right. As you think about this, I assume you take time to get things ready, because wherever they're going obviously isn't close by.
Yeah, get my stuff together, go tell my parents where I'm going, my brother and such, so I don't just up and disappear one day, because my relationship is not terrible with them. Like
Imagine.
some people.
Yeah, I think after you tell them that and you start getting your things together, Caleb, your older brother, comes to your room. He knocks and then enters because he's your older brother.
Yeah, he doesn't have to wait for me to say, come on in.
He gives you the courtesy knock, but then opens the door. So Caleb enters your room. He's your older brother, a little taller than you. He's got stringy blonde hair that kind of comes down to his shoulders. He's not, super well built, but he still tries to look after you like an older brother would. He tries to act tough. And he goes, hey, Morgan, so you're just leaving town to follow the researchers?
Yeah, that's the idea. Hopefully, maybe also make some money while I'm out there, considering can't really do a whole lot of work while I'm here right now. Hopefully that's not going to be causing you and mom and dad any issues, I hope.
No, I think it's okay that you're doing that. Walton's a small place, and with the coal mine closing, options are a little limited. How much meeting in Pharaoh have you told your family about? Or have you kept it to yourself?
I gotta be honest, I'm not sure how much of a secret holder I am from my family, all things considered.
Okay. A good thing they're good secret holders for you. So he says what he does, but you can tell he's thinking about something else, and he goes, so is it the giant robot that's really telling you to go? You can see it's clear on his voice that he's a little dubious of your encounter. It's obvious a giant robot is being taken away at this moment, and you didn't lie about that, but perhaps he doesn't fully believe you when you tell him that the robot spoke to you and has given you magic.
Just kind of, I was packing things, look back to him like, yeah, no, that's who it is. Talking to me through this weird object I have. Just holding up the revolver.
I guess as you hold that up, it is strange to him that you just have this item that no one really recognizes. Like, even like I mentioned it before, but the gun that you got from Infero is something that you've never seen before and something that no one here has ever seen before. Scaleb looks at it and goes, yeah, okay. Well, options are a little limited right now, so I get you leaving. I think it'd be better if you didn't go alone. So I'm gonna come with you.
I mean, if you're certain about that,
Yeah.
certainly wouldn't mind having you.
I already talked to Mom and Dad about it. They seem like they're okay with holding down the fort. This place has been around before we were even around, so they seem comfortable holding it down. Have you considered how you're getting to where they're going? Were you planning on walking?
I'm pretty sure I would die of dehydration if I tried to walk all that way.
Okay, I was thinking the same thing, that it would be dangerous. So I'm thinking we pull up whatever money that we saved together and buy a ride on one of the ships that perhaps isn't carrying the giant machines. I don't think they'll let us on, but people are still traveling here to get to Romaril, so we could probably pay for a ride on the way back from wherever they're going.
Yeah, it's definitely better than my plan was. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I'm glad I'm coming with you. Okay, I'm so glad we had this conversation because, wow, I'm so glad I'm coming with you. All right.
What's the brother's name again?
Caleb.
Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb.
Yes,
Caleb O'Regan.
Caleb O'Regan.
Just no clue. No, like not a plan.
Not a plan, was just
Gonna be there.
go.
Just
Just
gonna be
winging
there.
it.
Just winging it.
Absolutely.
Just so yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go get my stuff together, and we can go in the morning. It's okay. Well, I think, actually, now that I think about it, if they're going to either King's Hall or Novea, I think I know where we can stay in King's Hall.
Oh, crud, really?
Yeah, you remember Layla, right?
Oh, yeah. She moved away a while back. Really miss her, honestly. Oh, crud, is that where she moved up to?
Yeah, so you would remember Layla as just a childhood friend who, was about the same age as you, grew up with you, and moved out of Walden, mainly because she felt kind of suffocated by how small the town is. And after ships started showing up, she quickly bought a ticket out of here. And last you heard, she was in King's Hall. And your brother, who tends to be a little bit more on top of things than you are.
A lot less aloof than I have been.
Yeah. It seems like maybe he got a hold of her somehow after you talked to them about leaving that day, and found out she's still there. He goes, apparently Layla moved to King's Hall. I just paid for a sending scroll earlier today and sent that message out so I could get a reply quickly, because it seemed like you were going to leave very soon, so I had to figure out what your plan was.
Yeah, that was the plan. Like, in the next few days, at the very least, I was planning it.
Yeah, and you didn't have a plan. So if you had just disappeared after saying you were going to leave, I had to make sure I knew we had a plan. So I'm coming with you. We can go to King's Hall and we can meet up with Layla. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. Siblings on a trip to the big city.
Yeah, wow.
Look forward to it.
Now that I think about it, I've never left Walden. I guess it's time we got out of here. He smiles. Seems like he's a little more reassured in this plan, knowing that A, you have a plan, thanks to him, and B, that he's coming with you because you didn't have a plan, and you are absolutely going to somehow find yourself in trouble. I think he leaves then and starts to get his own stuff together. And after that, a couple days pass. You and Caleb work together to kind of organize a proper flight to King's Hall to meet with Layla. You talk to some of the ship workers who come and go throughout the day. Some of them are either, show up in the morning, leave in the evening with a different crew, and you guys get a flight organized. The day before you leave, you've got all your affairs in order. You and Caleb are just about ready to go. Now all you have to do is wait for your flight, which is tomorrow. You see another old friend of yours walks into the family diner. You know this person to be Jacob. So Jacob Harper walks in, another longtime friend of yours. You guys had a bit of a falling out recently, but, he still lives here in Walden. It's a small town. So he comes in. He's about the same height as you. He's wearing just this dark cloak with mostly black and purples mixed in. He's wearing a strange necklace, bearing an insignia that shows what almost looks like a hand reaching up to grab something. And he just takes a seat at the bar of the diner, and he calls for you to come over.
Bit surprised to see him here, but I do indeed come on over.
He speaks up as you come over to him, and he just goes, "Hey, Morgan. So I heard you were leaving Walden?"
Yeah, that is the idea. Haven't really seen you around a lot, but no. How have you been?
I've been good. Things are going really well with my father's church. Getting a little more popular, especially with a lot more through traffic here. Glad to see the diner still doing well. Fuck the ritzy diner, right?
Oh, yeah,
place.
Screw them.
So, listen, I don't know what's going on and what's motivating you to leave Walden, but I don't know. I think maybe you should just stay here. You could join my father's church, because the way I see it, there's not a lot of people out there who know what you really are, and I'm worried that they're not going to accept you.
Just kind of thinking about it, felt wanted to trust it, but also felt slightly a little threatened in a way.
Fair. He just, listen, I just want to make sure that, you're aware of the risks that come with leaving this small town. So just be careful out there, yeah?
Thanks. I appreciate it. And hopefully things will be going on well here while I'm gone.
I think they will. I'm staying here. My father's staying here. Your parents will be here. There's some good people here that'll help keep Walden in check, despite all these researchers coming in and blasting holes in the ground every other day.
And they do be doing that a lot.
Yeah. So just take care of yourself. I know we haven't talked in a while, but, don't want to see you get burnt, because I can tell you're just a trusting guy, and who you are, people tend not to trust that. It doesn't go both ways, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I'm going to be careful about that.
Yeah. So he nods. Yes. Okay, well, I said my piece. Doesn't sound like I've changed your mind at all. Sounds
really,
like you just are.
trying.
You gotta keep going the way you're going. Once you have a path set, you just follow it. Nothing wrong with that. I said what I had to say. Just take care of yourself. And he gets up without really even saying bye. Maybe it's just because not that he didn't want to, but just it almost didn't feel right to him to be like bye. But he just says, take care of yourself, and he walks out of the diner. Is there anything special you do the night before you leave?
I probably have always said goodbye to my parents at this point. Probably have made plans to hopefully avoid any ritzy diners out there. I know they're everywhere.
I would rather starve.
So crazy. There's not a single ritzy diner anywhere else. He's just convinced these guys have to be everywhere. These little scumbags goes to a whole new town. Huh.
Where is it?
I don't know if this is worse or better.
It's a regional chain. It's a regional chain. Yeah.
Regional chain.
Yeah, and beyond that, testing out my magical abilities to make sure I know what I'm doing before I do.
Yeah, okay. How do you think you're trying to manifest these magical powers as you practice, so to say.
Well, at first I tried to call back onto the first instance of it whenever I nearly threw up rainbows because of it.
Yeah.
Now try to call upon that feeling, see if I can cause any type of innate magic within me to show up in some type of form.
Yeah.
Perhaps in a similar fashion to how I would change my own shape, I try to force that out into a type of spell of sorts. Perhaps,
Sure.
Causing maybe like a bolt-like substance or something to appear.
Sure. As you are trying, where are you doing this at? That's a good question. Where are you trying this?
I say probably outside, maybe a little bit. It's past home, not where a lot of people would be out. Then again, not a lot of people are out in general in this place, especially with the mine shut down, I would imagine.
Yeah, so it's a pretty quiet night. You just go outside and you try to channel this magic. Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
All right. There it is. All right, 17.
17 total?
Yeah.
With a 17 Arcana check, you begin to try to focus your magical energy. And I'm assuming you're holding the gun in your hand.
Yeah.
You hold it and you're trying to like force this like almost like reaction out of you, like this magical ability that you have somewhere now thanks to Infero. It almost starts at like your feet. You can feel it almost like coming from the ground up, this like surge of power within you, and works your way up your body, hits your shoulders, and comes down to the hand that you're holding the gun in, and you fire a blast of energy just straight in a line, a pretty powerful blast that makes your hand recoil pretty far back, almost in like just a surprise to you that you were able to get it to work. Yeah, and you fire just your first spell ever right off into the hills in the distance, right into the side of the mountain.
A very unlucky duck just falls from the sky.
Yeah, this happened like 50 years ago, and they were like, wow, that seems like a cool poster for a bar.
Yeah.
But yeah, you fire your first spell ever straight into the side of the mountain. It seems like you were able to pull the magic out of you. It seems like after that, you feel like you are in control of it.
Whew. That was pretty impressive. Good thing no ducks were hit by that. That'd be really unfortunate. Then again, I guess that would have been a good breakfast tomorrow if that were the case.
You see a duck come out of a bush nearby, just real nervous looking, and flies away.
Thank goodness I also didn't nearly throw up.
Yes,
Thanks,
that's also true.
Yeah.
As you try to channel this magic, you don't feel that overwhelming sense anymore. It's almost like you pulled exactly what you needed out of yourself in that moment to make this happen.
Yeah. Making, like, I'm now thinking in my head, like, I better make sure I have this on me or else I might throw up next time I try to cast a spell.
Oh, you mean the gun?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I still don't know what it technically is,
Yeah.
This boom box.
I'm sure Infero has told you at this point, just, well, I guess he doesn't remember. No, you have a spellcasting focus is what you have.
Yeah, he's just always got that thing on him.
He's got that thing on him. Yeah.
Got that iron on me.
Anything else for that night, or?
After that, just gotta go back in, trying to make sure not to wake anyone up as I also go ahead and, pack up the rest of my stuff, take my personal old cooking knife with me as well, Gotta make sure I eat well on the way.
Gotta make sure you make good food. Yeah, you grab almost like, it's not like an heirloom, but everyone in your family has it after running this diner. Just everyone has their own like little personalized kitchen knife with your initials engraved on it, just as like a fun little family gift that everyone has. Yeah, you get the last of your personal affects in order, things that you like would have saved to last to pack because you were still going to use them up until you were leaving. Yeah, and then the day of your flight comes. You and Caleb get to the loading docks in the early morning. There's a ship that's going to be coming and going pretty quickly. They're not going to have any other travelers except for you guys. So whenever you guys are ready, you guys can head out. Your parents are there with you guys, Connor and Abigail. They give you each a hug one more time. Your
Yeah,
dad,
hug him back hard.
super emotional. He just hugs you real tight and is crying. He's like, I'm just gonna miss you, boyo. Oh, please take care of yourselves. Oh,
I miss
please
you
don't
too,
get into
Pa."
trouble. Caleb, please make sure Morgan doesn't get into trouble. Yeah, just super sappy and emotional. Your mother, on the other hand, is keeping a straight face. She's trying to hold it together. She gives you each a hug. And she just says to each of you, as she gives you a hug and a little kiss on the head, just be good. Just be good.
I'll do my best, Ma. I'll do my best.
She hugs you tightly. That's way more effective than your dad crying all over the place. Yeah, she hugs each of you tightly. And yeah, you guys board your ship and take off for King's Hall. You see in the distance, your dad is slumped over, sobbing very openly of all about his emotions. And your mother's just standing there very stoic-like, but you can see that she's getting a little emotional. And as you start to take off, you see a small tear escape as she watches her boys leave town for the first time. Yeah, you guys take off. Flying is a whole new experience to the both of you. These ships move pretty fast. They're almost like blimps with propellers on them that are pushed with magical energy. So the blimp gets you in the air, and then once you're in the air, these propellers kick to life, and you just start sailing through the sky faster than any carriage, horse, or otherwise means of travel that you've ever experienced. It doesn't take long for you to get to King's Hall. Within the day, you're there. But you can tell you flew pretty far, but at the same time, it only took a few hours. So by midday or early afternoon, you land in King's Hall. As you come down, you see someone waving to you from the docks. You see a taller, actually, other way around, shorter. You see a short dwarven woman waving to you from the docks. She has long black and red hair, and a big old beard that is beautifully braided. Each like individual knot is a mix of red and black, like perfectly split. It's clear she dyes her hair, but it looks sick as hell. She's got tanned skin from being out in the sun. And as you guys land, she greets you guys.
I'm gonna need a legal age and
I need her name now.
It's Layla Owens.
I need her marriage status.
I need her status like this second.
So what's her deal?
So Layla's deal. Now, Morgan, you haven't seen this person in a while, but you instantly recognize her as Layla Owens, longtime friend of yours. One of the few dwarven families that left Romaril and like came down to Walden, really liked it for some reason and decided to live there. So Layla greets you guys, and I'm going to take a second to come up with how she sounds.
She could talk like this.
She could talk, hey guys, hey.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. She greets you at the dock and goes, "Oi, dickheads!"
That's Australian. There you go.
Oi, dickheads!
Yeah, there we go.
This is a shock to you. Just Caleb goes, "Is she talking to us?"
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you two. It's been a long time,
Hey!
You know this, obviously, I said before, you know this part. This is Layla Owens, although a lot different than you remember. Her hair wasn't dyed, and she definitely did not swear before, although her accent has always been the same. She goes, "Oh my goodness, it's been years. It's been so long since I've seen you guys. How you been? Welcome to King's Hall. This is where I'm at."
Yeah, looks pretty good. I've been doing all right. Been working in the coal mines. Luckily, I haven't gotten any black lung for all I could tell. So, that's pretty good.
Oh, good. Yeah, we'd hate to see that.
I love how that's the standard for doing well. Not having black lung.
That's my update,
Yeah. Wow, I haven't seen you in like 3 years, but I'm so glad that you don't have black lung. Maybe. You haven't gone to the doctors, I guess.
Yeah, no, you know how the doctor is over there. I mean, was.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
Got black lung.
Wow.
Got black lung.
Did the doctor get black lung? Like, what happened?
Yeah. Yeah, he got black lung. I mean, I think he's all right. He moved out, went to another doctor who was hoping could help him, but we haven't really heard back from him. Like, I'm hoping he's okay, but we're not really sure per se.
Wow, so no doctor in Walden. Got it. Glad I'm here. Well, just grab your stuff, follow me. I can show you your new digs.
Sounds good. Always good to see you. It has been a while.
It really has. So glad to see you guys. I missed you so much. She just gives you a big old hug. I mean, you guys are obviously almost double her height. She just comes in and hugs your thighs, really. Just
I'll give her a hug back and looking over and stuff.
But yeah, she walks you through King's Hall and kind of gives you the same tour that like Larson gave Simon as he walked through town. She goes, yeah, this is the town square. Lots of good stuff here. People selling stuff all the time. I live further in the residential district, a little closer to Novea Satellite Campus. I'm going to school there.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, she takes you through town and leads you to a small, like she leads you to a row of townhouses, essentially.
Yeah.
And it seems like this street is perfectly clean and neatly kept. And it's very close to the campus. You get the sense that this is kind of like the off-campus housing that students can live in while they're in Novea, or not Novea, while they're in King's Hall, not wanting to live in like a dorm anymore. So she goes, this is my spot. You're welcome to stay for a while. I already talked to the landlord. You're gonna have to pay rent, so I hope you have a plan for making money.
Well, I was going to be looking for a job anyway, so guess that works for me. How much is the rent?
Just what do I want to
determine the
here?
in-game economy right now. 500 gold.
5 million billion gold. I think
like,
She goes, well, these are the nice houses, so it's about $1 a person every month. So yeah, just make sure you get yourself a decent job. It's not too hard to save up. I do it. I'm a full-time student, and I also work a full-time job, so I'm pretty busy, but I always got time to hang out. Yeah, you're welcome to stay as long as you need. I'd recommend hitting the streets pretty quickly and finding yourself a job, maybe. And Caleb nods and agrees and goes, yeah, I was looking into some options when I was talking around town. Or when I was in Walden, I was considering some options. I was trying to see what the people who fly to and from King's Hall know. Not too much, unfortunately, but I think I've got something lined up. I might have to work harder than I might be used to, but it's going to be a little different. And he hands you like a small list of different locations that he found just from like talking to different dock workers from King's Hall who fly there often. And he goes, and just from what he learned from them, it's just like, these places seem to be common spots for finding a job. You look through the list, there's like market vendors, or you can like work for a market vendor. You could work at a bank if you really wanted to. There's farming positions available. And the last one is for magic technicians. And underneath it, he like underlined it and he points it out and he goes, so it seems like these guys are hiring. From what I heard, King's Hall is only getting bigger, and the demand for a tech who can handle magical technology is only getting higher. So you've got magic powers now. Maybe it's right for you.
You know what? It'd be all right. Thanks for finding this out for me, bro. I was honestly probably just going to hit the streets and ask around.
I had a feeling you would. He just nods and just gives you that smile like, I knew it. Just that like, I'm right, hit the nail right on the head. I know my brother. Just, yep. All right. Well, I'm going to go take a look at some of the things that I found for myself. I can't really do magic like you can, so that one might be off the table. But I think you should check into that one, and I'll start looking at my opportunities that I heard about.
All right, sounds good. Also, once again, thank you, Layla, for letting us stay here.
Yeah,
always
no problem. She gives you each a key. She goes, all right, these are your keys. Don't lose them. They're pretty expensive to replace. But, come and go as you see fit. I'm usually around in between classes because it's not far. Or just, in between classes and work or at night, I'll be around. So if you ever need anything, let me know.
Sounds good.
Mi casa is su casa. Excuse me, I should speak
Elven
Spanish.
or something?
Yeah. It's Loxodon. Loxodon or Spanish. Anyway, not actually gonna happen.
Literally because you pay rent, mi casa is su casa.
Yeah. But yeah, she just goes, here's the keys, don't lose them. She says all her stuff and she goes, I'm not going to speak Spanish. That's just such an interesting thing to bring into the world. She just goes, well, looks like we're roommates for now, so don't ruin my security deposit. And then she just says, have fun. I'll be here. And then she walks inside and leaves you and Caleb to your devices. Or I guess before she does, she goes, I can take your bags if you want, if you just want to start looking around or get right to it. Because the sooner you find a job, the better. Or you can come in, set your stuff down, and settle in first.
Well, I guess as they always say, the early bird gets the worm, so I might as well go ahead and try to find a job quickly. And then if I don't, I can crash and cry at home.
Oh, yeah, well, you can do that too. We got plenty of alcohol, so...
I haven't had any in a while.
God, Layla just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah,
Layla leans into Caleb and she about the early bird gets the worm. She goes, early bird gets the worm. It's 2 p.m. It's like, she goes, it's the middle of the afternoon.
But also, you are 17 years old and you're like, yeah, I haven't had booze in forever.
Wait, Morgan is 17?
Aren't you?
What did I put my age? I
I
think
thought
more
Morgan
like
was an
around
adult at this point.
Yeah, 21 is what I actually.
Okay, Morgan's 21.
Oh, thank God. Okay, yes.
I was thinking, like, to be fair, we were talking about bit in the past, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah.
And to be fair, even that was the case, dwarven society, who knows?
So
feeding it to the babies.
Wow. Caleb volunteers. He goes, okay, well, if you want to just get out there and check out those opportunities, I could, take care of getting a little settled in first. We can kind of tag in, tag out. So he goes, you have fun, don't get lost, and good luck. And I'll be here waiting for you to come back, and then I'll, or hit the streets after you.
All right, well, tag in and tag out, like you said.
All right, go team. And he gives you a high five.
Yeah, also high five Ave back.
Wow. And then he does the cool guy. No, I'm just kidding.
The older brother.
The older brother. Ooh, no. But yeah, Caleb takes your guys' stuff with the help of Layla and brings it all inside. So Morgan just not lost into town, but
yeah,
made your first
I did
big
at least
move.
look around while
King's
I
Hall
was going.
is a lot bigger than Walden. And this list that you got from Caleb doesn't mark any addresses. It's just job opportunities that he heard about.
Well, I guess better go around asking people about it. Hopefully other people know better than I would. Or maybe find a map.
Yeah.
Whichever comes first. Maybe ask for a map.
Okay. If you want to ask around town, go ahead and just make a general persuasion check as you try to just get your bearings. And if you're going to talk to somebody, kind of see if they know, if you find something that'll help you.
All right. That is a 25 on persuasion.
Oh my goodness. I forgot.
Yeah.
I have a lot of charisma.
Sweet. So you're kind of asking around town. Some people don't want to be approached by a stranger, but one guy you talk to is like, oh yeah, you're looking for the Magitech office? Sure. I love that place. Larson's great. He fixed my oven that one time.
You knew it. I freaking knew it. This dude, Larson fixed his oven 10 years ago. He has never let it go.
Ever since.
Oh, man. I knew it. As soon as you're like, I'm going to ask around town, I was like, I can't wait.
Oh, my God. I love it.
This man shows up at the shop just to say, my oven's still working. You really nailed it.
You really did me a favor. It was like Thanksgiving. But yeah, he goes, yeah. And he was like, oh, I know where that's at. I stop by all the time. Larson fixed my oven that one time, and it just he's a really solid guy. You looking for a job with him? I think he'll hire you. You seem nice.
Thanks. Also, I could definitely be around someone who could fix ovens. Man, it kept on breaking it home.
Oh,
every
that's
week.
never good.
Yeah, no, we eventually got it working.
He goes, that's
I
crazy.
guess.
Anyways, he is not only cares about his oven, my oven. So he just gives you directions. They're pretty easy to follow because there's a lot of signs in town that kind of point to town square. But he goes, it's in town square, which is what you didn't know. So as long as you get to town square, you'll get there and find the sign for the office.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you make your way there.
Yeah. Just make my way. I at least have made sure to look around as I was following Layla earlier, so I at least have a basic idea where the town square is, I guess. Probably.
Yeah. So you make your way to the town square. There's signs everywhere, too, that kind of like point in the direction of different streets and other major locations like the town square. You get there, and it's actually really nice. It's pretty noisy. Lots of different vendors just selling food and trinkets and random products that they make themselves. There's a big old fountain right in the center, sparkling in the afternoon sun. And you see the sign for this Magitech office. You make your way over, and door's unlocked, so you just walk on in. And you see a woman standing at the front desk. Sorry. For those partying at home, AJ just instantly pulled out his pencil. Instantly was like, pencil.
Listen, the last woman you introduced was the love of my life, so I need to know.
I don't know.
Love of my life?
This
Okay.
might
We're
get a
gonna
little better.
have to maybe fight.
Okay, we can work that out later.
Okay.
No, we can't.
You see
We're working it out now.
You see a woman standing there. She's taller than you by a few inches.
Dibs.
Let me at least get through this.
Fine.
Let me at least get through this.
Wood.
She
Sure do.
How tall are you, Morgan? Just for reference.
Current form is 6'1" right
So
now.
what, she's 6'3". You see a woman there who's a couple inches taller than you, standing at the front desk. She perks up as she sees you. She has the ears of a half-elf, but you can see on her face patches of what look like dragon scales. This is a half-elf, half-dragonborn woman who has brass scales right near her cheekbones, and you can see, because she's only wearing like a t-shirt with the company logo on it, that she has scales that wrap around her arms on the way down, almost like a sleeve tattoo. They're brass and shimmer in the light of the room. She goes, "Oh, hello. Did you have an appointment?"
I didn't really have an appointment, but I did hear this place was hiring, I guess, from my brother, so I figured I'd come to check it out and hopefully find a job.
Oh, great. Yeah. We are hiring. That's good fortune. We haven't had anyone come in yet, so it looks like you get first dibs.
Nice.
My name's Helena Thornscale. I work here at the front desk. I just kind of, handle the requests and manage the jobs for the day. You're probably going to want to meet with Garrett Larson. He's like the foreman here. He's kind of the boss. So I can get him for you, and you guys can have an interview or something. I mean, I'm sure he's willing to not take in anybody, but you're the first person to respond to our help wanted, so shouldn't be hard to get an interview.
All right, that would be great if you could do that. Also, my name's Morgan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And then she shakes your hand, and she goes off deeper into the office, into the shop to find Garrett Larson. Not going to describe Garrett Larson again.
For those partying at home, you know what he looks like.
You know what he looks like. Larson comes out, and he goes, "Oh, great. He goes, "Oh, great. You're Morgan from what Helena just told me?"
Yeah, Morgan O'Regan. Pleasure to
Perfect.
meet you.
He shakes your hand, gives you a very firm handshake. One that's not too tight, you know what I mean? But it's just like,
Yeah.
feels nice and comfortable. For Dante, maybe it was a bit too much.
Sprained my wrist, actually.
Work comp. But yeah, he goes, "Great. Well, come this way. We can sit down and talk and see if this is right for you." We're not going to go through a whole interview process.
Oh, dang.
He basically explains what the job's about. Magic technicians essentially are, for a real world example, like handymen. They handle just a little bit of everything that has to do with the new modern technologies that are coming out with each of Novea's new inventions. So he talks about, like, sometimes you have housework where someone's lights aren't working properly. You have some days where you're working outdoors a lot, installing new fixtures, new magical lights. Sometimes you're doing old projects where it's like, oh, a house is getting updated to fit the latest magical technology. It's never anything too crazy, but yeah, you guys sit and talk for a while. Let you go ahead and make another persuasion check here just to kind of see how well the interview goes. But I'll say now that you can't fail outright.
Yeah.
I won't let
your
it
base pay.
Yeah, pretty much. I won't let a roll determine whether or not you get this job, but I'm gonna.
It's like, oh, you failed. Time to roll up a new character.
Yeah, sorry, I just didn't make the cut.
Dirty 21. I mean, it's not really dirty anything. It's just 21.
Just a 21.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get through the interview, and Larson sounds pleased. How much do you tell him about your own magical experiences and stuff like that?
I'm like, I'm fairly new to it, but I have learned that I can shoot laser beams out if need be.
Or I should just react in a way that's like, okay. Just, oh, great. Good for you. I don't know how relevant that might be, but, someone who deals with magic is always good when we deal with magic every day. He goes, you know what? I tend to do this a lot, or I'm on a record of doing this, of hiring people because I like them. But I think you might be a good fit here. I think you got the right attitude for it.
I hope I do well.
Me too. Because eventually this might catch up to me and I might get in trouble. Yeah, he just gets
Black
up.
Luck hasn't caught up to me yet, so hopefully it won't catch up to you either.
Yeah, he gets up and shakes your hand, and seems like he's successfully got a job here at the Magitech office. The last thing he mentions is like, besides Helena up front, there are 2 other technicians here. They're out just doing work right now, but when they come back, I'll make sure you guys get introduced, and I think they can help take care of your training. Unless you're ready to start right now, and I can give you, the walkthrough of orientation and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right. See, I knew I liked it. I knew I liked you. So yeah, he just gives you standard orientation, gives you a uniform, tells you about all the safety hazards and stuff like that, and just what to look out for. And before long, a few hours pass. Dante and Simon, you guys finish your work for the day and come into the office to see another person standing in the office. For the first time ever, Dante, Simon, and Morgan meet. Then we'll move on.
Okay.
Joelle.
The one person that's going to get hired who he doesn't like, by the way.
Right at the end.
Don't say that. What?
You had just entered your cell for the first time and met your cellmate, Clara. She welcomes you to D Block, and the cell closes behind you.
I think I just quietly make my way over to the bunk. Is she on like the top bunk or the bottom bunk?
She is on the bottom bunk.
She's on the bottom bunk. Okay. I think I like make a quick little wave, just absolutely wordless. Don't look at her. And I just climb to the top bunk and lay down and stare at the ceiling.
Yeah, you lay down and just process everything that
No, there's no processing.
No processing. Just
absolutely
blank.
just so blank, because I'm just in such shock that this is actually happening.
Yeah.
Like, this is worst nightmare come to life right now.
Okay. So you lay down the top bunk, you give her a little wave, and Clara you don't see it, but she nods to your reaction. Just, all right. She doesn't say anything. She just accepts that you need some time. And the first day of being in prison goes by a little uneventful.
Yeah, I think I don't know what time of day it is right now, but I definitely just like lay there in bed. I don't get up. I don't say anything to her. And then I just sleep through the night.
All right. So that first night goes by as quiet as a night in prison can go. Clara never speaks up. She seems content being on her own. Do you make any effort to speak with Clara? It's okay that if you don't. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'd say I wake up the next morning and I muster all of the courage I can at this point. I climb down the ladder and I look over at Clara and I say, "Hi, I'm so sorry about yesterday. It's been quite a lot for me. But I'm Joelle."
She nods and just goes, "Nice to meet you, sister. Like I said, my name is Clara. Clara Tipser."
Clara tips her what?
Thank you.
I know. Hardy hard. McLaren, the car. As you come down to talk to Clara, she's just sitting at the edge of her bed. You see a halfling woman, short and stout, kind, round face, short blonde hair, messily maintained. It's a prison, after all. Haircuts are far and few in between, and access to anything to maintain your hair is pretty restricted. He goes, "If you want, you can stick with me. People here can be a little rough. So it's always good to have a buddy."
Oh, good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little overwhelmed by all of this. Look, obviously, I'm here because I did something wrong, and I know that. I own up to it. But I don't feel like I should be here right now. I have so much else that I need to do. I have a family at home. I can't just be in prison.
She takes in what you said. She nods and goes, tough. And then she just gets out of bed. and she just walks as the cells open for the day. She just gets out. "You can follow me if you want. I recommend it." And she just walks out of the cell.
I follow her. Yeah, I absolutely follow her.
Hit you with a, "That's rough, buddy."
That's rough. That's crazy. I'm also in prison. I also had a life. You follow Clara out of the cell. Try to make an insight check.
Ooh,
Child.
my first roll. Let's see what it is. You said insight?
Yes.
That is a 17.
All right. Okay. With a 17, you notice as you make your way to some of the more common areas like the cafeteria and just walking around D block, the set of prison cells that you're in, everyone's taking a wide berth. Everyone seems to be avoiding Clara.
Oh no.
On a 17, you get the sense that these people are fearful of Clara, but you're not sure why they're fearful of Clara.
I don't. With that insight check, would that make me feel like I should stick closer to her, or that I should also keep some distance?
Because you don't know why they're avoiding Clara, you still get the sense that you can stick close to her, and her advice that it can be rough here, it's good to have a buddy, kind of rings in your head a bit to be like, maybe they seem to be worried about her, but at least that means they might leave me alone too.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, okay, if they're giving her space, they'll give me some space too. And I think that's what I need right now.
Okay.
So I will stick closer to her.
Sweet. You see, this seems to be a common theme wherever you guys end up going. She doesn't show you around, but whenever you guys are allowed to move from one place to another, she shows you just different locations like courtyard where you can get some fresh air, maybe do some sort of light working out. She shows you that there's even like a small chapel in this place for those who have lost their way and perhaps need to reach to some sort of higher power. It's fit for just about any god out there. There's a little bit of everything. There's like a section with just different Bibles and just, it's a quiet place tucked away right at the edges of D block. Yeah, I think since you're sticking to Clara, things remain pretty uneventful for you for a while. We're gonna jump ahead a little bit, and by a little bit I mean kind of a lot of bit. A few months pass of this where no one bothers talking to Clara, and if you follow her around, that means no one bothers talking to you. You notice that as time goes on, you don't get any visitors. Your family doesn't come, your husband doesn't come, so you don't even get to see Jude, and it gets a little lonely after a while. But after about 3 months, you finally do get a visitor. You're brought to the, what is that? Just like the visitor's spot. I've never been to prison, so
Good for you.
I just
Right?
know they're
Yeah.
called conjugal visits.
They're
No.
not. That's not the only kind of visit. I feel like those don't happen in the same space as all the other visits. So
That's all I know.
I think it's just called the visitation hall.
oh yeah, so I'll just call it that.
Well, it's more like a room. It's more like a
Yeah,
cafeteria
so
area.
The designated
yeah,
hello,
Huh?
the designated space for
yeah.
Conjugal
that.
visits.
That's
You
a different
are-
space. I need you to understand that's a different space.
You are brought to the visitor's room, and you see that Beck is waiting there for you.
I don't know who I'm meeting, so when I walk in and see that it's Beck, I'm in absolute shock. Because I mean, you said it's been 3 months at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and there's been no contact at all, like not even
No
a
visitors,
letter.
no letters.
I think I like steel myself and walk over to where he is.
Great. He takes a seat across from you. He also seems kind of jarred to see you in this way, and for a while isn't sure what to say. After like a long, what feels like minute that takes forever, he finally speaks up and just says, "Hi, Joelle, it's been a little while."
Before you say anything else, I'm so sorry. I know that what I did was wrong, but I need you to know that I would never do anything to intentionally harm you or Jude. Ever.
He just nods. He takes in what you're saying, and without knowing a better way to do this, he just speaks up and he says, "Yeah, I'm sorry too." And he pulls out 2 pieces of paper. The first one is a paper to sign for divorce,
Oh my god.
and the second one
Oh,
is to sign over custody of Jude.
what?
Yo, I fully thought he was about to confess to turning her in. This is way better.
Oh my god.
Holy,
The opposite of a conjugal visit, actually.
holy crud.
He
A non-jiggle visit.
a non-jiggle visit. He takes a moment after he sets those papers down, and he goes, "The second one," he taps the paper for the custody, "is more of a formality. You can sign it if you want, but as a convicted felon, it doesn't really matter if you do or not, so you can, you don't have to. I can understand if you wouldn't, but it's not going to change what's going to happen."
Okay. And then, without another word, knowing that I will probably never see my child again, I go ahead and sign the second one first because that one is absolutely the harder one to sign. And then I sign the first one, and I just look at him and I say, if I could do it all over, I don't know that I would change what I did, because I know that the reason was good, but I would have told you. And then maybe you would have kept me from doing what I did, which may have been fine. But I had the chance to get my sister back. And that was not something that I ever thought I'd have the opportunity to do. And I think I lost sight of the family that I did have, looking at the family that I could have had, and now I have neither. And I'm so sorry.
You see, as you mention that you had the chance to save your sister, that, you know, that gets his attention a bit. And he just looks a little, not hurt, but he also feels sorrowful for what he's doing. He goes, I just wish that, I wish you would have told me. I don't know, we could have figured out whatever you were going through together, but you made your choice, and I know you said if you were to do it all again, but you can't. So, I think without saying another word, he takes the papers you signed and gets up and just says, you're obviously not going to be in here forever, so perhaps when you get out, we can talk about seeing Jude and figuring that out. But thanks for your cooperation, I guess. I wish you the best.
I wish you the best. Beck, I know I'm not deserving of any favors or, especially not from you, who I've put you through so much now at this point. But if maybe you could find it within yourself to wait to file those and maybe give it some thought.
At this point, he had gotten up to leave. So his back is turned to you. He turns back a little bit, looks at you. I don't want to make promises or give you some false sense of hope. I wouldn't have brought these papers to you if I hadn't thought about it since you were gone. I've made my choice, just like you made yours. And he leaves.
I think, oh God. I think, as soon as he like rounds the corner and is out of eyesight, I just completely break down crying. I don't care who else is around, because it's just too big of a feeling and I cannot keep it inside anymore.
Mm-hmm. You even see that as you have this really emotional moment. Usually when a visit ends, the guards just take you back right away, but the guard who was overseeing you just gives you some time, lets you get it out, and whenever you're ready, he takes you back. Unless you don't move, and then after a while he does have to take you back.
No, I think it takes a couple of minutes, like maybe like 5 or so.
He gives you that.
But I eventually stop enough that I make my way back.
You are guided back to your prison cell after experiencing those visiting hours. You come back to your jail cell. Claire is sitting there waiting for you as usual. Do you just climb right up to your top bunk?
I'm so sorry. Bro, you really got me.
So sorry. I know. You can take a second if you want. Sorry.
Got him.
I remember earlier I said, yeah, things are going to get, everyone's going to meet up and things are going to be great. And then I was like, well, it's actually going to get really bad for one of you. Unfortunately, it was you.
I think as soon as I walk back into my cell, I go over to Clara and I just bury my head on her shoulder.
Oh. Clara, in a weird, it's weird to say this, but Clara lets you do that. She just goes, okay. She lets you sit there for a bit. Doesn't ask any questions. But after a while, she does speak up and goes, I can feel it, sister. You've been betrayed by your god, just like I have.
How did you know that? What?
It's just a feeling I have. Clara explains herself a little bit more. She goes, I can tell that you are dealing with a great loss of some kind. I bet you saw a vision of someone important to you, and they told you to make some impossible request possible.
I immediately back away a little bit.
No, I liked what we were having.
Okay, I need you to tell me right now how you know that.
You see that she grabs her Bible from under her pillow. She passes it to you, and she goes, Farlon told me.
Who is Farlon?
You would actually know who Farlon is. That's just like a religious person. You're aware of Saloon not being the only god. You're aware of multiple gods. And you would know Farlon, especially in a place like Brill, as the god of horizons and travel. A very appropriate following in Brill for this god, just because, people travel all the time from the port to sell goods, and sometimes people worship for safe travel. So you do know who Farlon is.
Okay. What business does Farlon have telling you that about me? To what end?
That I do not know, sister. All I know is that I was once in your shoes. I had strange visions. I committed crimes. And I'm here now. But when I was lost and at my lowest, Farlon reached out to me and showed me a new way.
Is that what you think? Do you think I'm lost? Is that what you think? Because let me tell you something. I didn't lose my way. I had a way, and it lost me.
Clara responds almost immediately. She goes, if the way has lost you, sister, then Farlon can show you a new one. And she opens the book, or like she opens the cover and shows you just the mantra for Farlon written right in the first page. And it says, do not consider the horizons the end of your journey. From the top of the mountains, you will see a new goal.
Great. That's awesome. But I'm not really interested in a new god right now.
Really? Even though your current one has abandoned you?
No,
current.
Not my current one. No.
Mm-hmm.
No. No, I definitely do not believe in Saloon anymore, or whatever that was. But, a lot of breakups going on recently, and I don't think I'm ready to get back out there.
I understand. Well, you can keep following me around if you'd like. I think we're still cool. But if you need guidance, feel free to join me. She closes her Bible and just sets it back down next to her.
Thank you.
Do you need my shoulder anymore, or can I lay down?
No, that's okay.
Thank
you.
It's okay. She just lays down. Okay. She just lays herself right down. You're still there, just looking at her. She's very quick and to the point.
Efficient.
Yeah.
Well, I should probably lie down myself, too. So I make what seems like a very long trek up to the top bunk. And I lay down and, I imagine that it's turned, into the corner of the room. So I just, cover myself with the blanket and roll over into the side of the wall, just with my forehead pressed against what I imagine is cold stone or brick or something like that.
You hear from underneath you, Good night, sister. and then you hear it just roll over.
Good night, Clara.
As you go to bed for the night, go ahead and give me a religion check.
Ooh, let's see. I had +3. Oh, that's a 2. So,
The
Count
first
'em.
low roll
5.
of the campaign.
oops.
Oops.
That's a 5. I'm not ready to get back out there.
No, I think on a 5, as you fall asleep for the night, you don't have any like strange visions or anything like that, but it's almost like an internal feeling. You think about what Clara said. Think about how she said that your God abandoned you. And to some extent, you can't help but to think that she's right. Because in this moment, you don't feel any connection to Saloon anymore.
No, I absolutely know she's right. I know that my God abandoned me. That's not even a question anymore. I've already made up my mind that Saloon and I, not on good terms. I am not a follower of hers anymore. I may have been a great follower at one point, but whatever that stunt that she pulled was, I don't want any part of her anymore.
You go to bed for that night, and we're going to keep skipping ahead here. Skip through even more time. Is there any point during your time that you think you would want to explore religion again? I will say that Claire doesn't press you on it anymore, but if you still continue to follow her around, because, you know, they leave her alone, which means they leave you alone, she does, you know, once a day go to that small chapel and do her own silent prayers, which means you're there too.
Yeah, I don't think I typically follow her when she goes to the chapel. I think typically I'll just like go back to the cell, and have like just some me time, whatever that looks like in jail. But I think like at some point after the months keep going by, I kind of go, all right, well, I'll follow you to the chapel this once.
She, for as like almost robotic as she is and just like efficient she is, she perks up a little bit. She goes, "Great, sister, follow me." Just it wasn't even like time for her to like her usual time to go to the chapel, but she just goes there right away. She just instantly is like, "Follow me," and just not beelines it because she's not running, but she just is briskly walking straight to the chapel.
Okay, yeah, I follow her there.
Sweet. You see that she begins to pray, and she explains her own thought process behind why she decided to start following Farlon. And she goes, "Well, I used to worship Thassa, the goddess of the sea. But, similar to you, I feel as if she abandoned me. Then, looking for an answer, I found Farlon. I put my feelings out to anyone who would listen, and he answered. He told me that sometimes the horizon is an illusion, a trick to make you feel crowded and small, as if those are your limits. But, as it says in the book, from the top of the mountain, you will find a new goal. So, sister, I prayed to Farlon to help me see through the trickery that the world lays before me, so that I can see my new goal that lies ahead." And she just starts quietly praying.
I think I'm a little hesitant to interrupt her, but I see that she just started praying. So I think I just like lightly put my hand on her shoulder to be like, "I'm so sorry. You said that your god Thassa abandoned you?"
Go ahead and make a persuasion roll, I'll say.
Oh, no.
Just see if you can interrupt her praying or if she's that efficient.
Ooh, 19 on the dice? That's
Whoa.
a 24.
Whoa.
Jesus. Why you running such high persuasion here? What the-
She just goes, "I'm praying, but I just started." And she just gets back up from kneeling. Yes, I worship Thassa, a popular god here in Brill.
Why do you think she abandoned you? Or he or they or I don't know anything about that, so I'm so sorry for assuming.
It's okay. One day, one night, while I was dreaming, I had visions. Visions that my father, who was lost at sea, could be saved from the bottom of the ocean still. All I had to do was kill 15 people.
I stifle my horror. Ooh.
You see, she continues. She
Hold
just
on,
goes.
hold I stifle my horror as much as possible, and I say, "So did you kill 15 people?"
No. I only got to 11.
I thought the opposite. I was like, I wanted to be doubly efficient, so I killed 30.
Oh my god. So she goes, no. I only got to 11. I was supposed to sacrifice them to the ocean. And then Thassa would spit up my father. And then I got arrested.
Okay, so similar to
Yes.
my thing, but maybe a little different.
You see?
You
that
got it so easy.
Yeah,
It's so easy.
She gently takes, like, grabs your arm and just goes, yes, we're just
shudder.
alike, sister. We are cut from the same cloth, sister.
She kind of deserves to be. You should be in here longer.
Oh, she's been here a while.
Not long enough.
Yeah.
However
Yeah.
long it is,
Needs to
not
be
long
longer.
enough.
Yeah, cut from the same cloth. Yeah, I'm a silk shirt and you're corduroy pants, but
Wow.
same cloth.
Silk and corduroy.
It's the same.
I don't think so, but that's okay.
Um,
We're part of the same outfit, you and I.
oh God.
What is your passive insight? Like, what's your
Oh no.
insight modifier?
5.
So it's like a passive insight of 15.
Wait, I'm so sorry. 3.
3. Okay. Like that's what
But
you add to an
pass-
insight roll?
Passive
Well,
wisdom
passive
is
would
15.
just be wouldn't passive just be 10 plus your wisdom?
Well,
I mean,
it
for
depends on the
insight
skill.
specifically, yeah, it'd be 10 plus whatever your modifier is for insight specifically. But if you're not proficient in it, then it would just be your wisdom
For,
modifier.
and I am proficient, so it's
Okay, so it's plus
it's
5.
15.
15.
So the passive insight of 15, no roll necessary. You finally understand why everyone avoids Clara.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone
I'm sorry. I was
avoids
like, I don't know
Clara.
if an insight roll would have been needed.
Yeah, exactly. Not only is she just seems to be slightly fanatic and just a little odd, she also murdered 11 people and threw them in the ocean.
Honestly, at that point, what's 4 more?
Honestly,
I
at that
agree.
point, I'm not sure if she ever saw a vision. I think she just
started murdering
I
people.
think she just assumed.
You know, I'm kind of surprised she stopped in prison. Sounds like
Oh.
she just had 4 more to go and she'd be
she needs to
done.
sacrifice
I couldn't
them
get to the
sea.
ocean.
Yeah.
Ah.
So she tells you that. She continues. She goes, but like I said, we are 2 pieces of the same outfit. My visions were clearly a lie, and Thassa had betrayed me. And now I worship Farlon. He helps me see through the trickery.
How does he help you see through the trickery?
He just gives me the wisdom to understand that perhaps I shouldn't have killed 11 people and threw them into the ocean.
You needed Farlon to see that?
Wait, I have another question.
I wanted my father back. So, the vision I had, I believed was divine as a follower of Thassa. My father said that it was Thassa who was connecting us in this vision. But Farlon also told me, through his infinite wisdom, besides killing 11 people and throwing them in the ocean, that perhaps I should have paid attention to the shadow in my vision.
I had a shadow in my vision too.
She squeezes your arm just like a little tightly because she's still holding you. 2 parts of the same outfit, sister.
Yep. Same outfit. Yep.
I knew that when I saw you come back into the prison cell those few months ago, sad and crying that your god had abandoned you. And perhaps you had visions like me. And then when I made that guess and you reacted the way that you did, I knew I was right.
When I made that
when I took that shot in the dark.
That's a very deep shot in the dark.
Well, you
and
know what?
swished it.
How many other cellmates has she had where she was just like, your god has betrayed you? No, I just robbed a dude. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you knew that I had the same types of visions.
I
Because-
guessed.
Okay, so you guessed that I had the same types of visions because Farlon told you.
Farlon told me that you and I are part of the same outfit. He didn't say it like that, but that's how I interpreted it.
Okay, that's established. But Farlon knew that. That's interesting. Can I see that book?
Yes, sister. And she just hands you the Bible, a little Farlon book.
I think I let her get to praying and I start reading.
Sweet.
I want to see what this is all about. This God who knew that this had happened to me.
Well, I don't think you would find anything specific in a book like just a regular like Bible for Farlon about what was going on with you.
No.
But-
I don't think I'm looking specifically for myself. I just want to know who this guy is.
Farlon?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You start to read through. No roll necessary. Like I said, you know that Farlon is the god of horizons and travel. But one thing that kind of strikes you or like catches your interest is that kind of a combination of what Clara was saying about him helping her see through the trickery. Although she very much should have seen through it on her own. The book talks about how, despite being the god of horizons, he almost doesn't like them. He laments the fact that people think the horizon is the limit, that once you reach the horizon, there's nowhere else to go. And he hopes that by showing people what's at the top, so to say, they can see that there's more waiting for them, that reaching the top isn't the end, and there's always a new horizon to chase after, and that almost that horizons are just not a cruel trick played on others or played on the mortal folk, but that it really undermines people's, I don't want to say this, it kind of just undermines a person's willingness to push themselves, to see what's at the top, because they're scared that once they get there, there's nothing left.
Okay. Yeah, I think the more that I start reading this new Bible, the more my curiosity is piqued. I like what he says about, not staying stuck where I am, not just looking at the horizon and saying, oh, well, this must be it. And kind of looking at the horizon where I am in my life right now and saying, no, there's more. I can push past this. It's not the end. I just got to go a little further and then I will see what's beyond.
Great. As you have this almost epiphany, you begin to feel like it's like a spiritual connection starting to form, no longer to Saloon, but to Farlon. And you and Clara pray there, and you begin to feel a new sense of magic coming from within you. This new found sense of devotion.
Love that.
Yeah, I think we're going to skip ahead one more time. This one's going to be a bigger skip. Your total time in prison now, as we get here, is about 2 years. You have been hearing about prisoners, and you've been seeing this, prisoners being taken from their cells and not coming back. You've seen figures dressed in what look like scholarly clothes, wearing like whites and blues, coming in, collecting prisoners, and those prisoners never return, even though it seems pretty obvious that they had not finished serving their full sentence. One day, some of these researchers come to your cell. They come to collect you, as well as a few other prisoners.
What happens exactly?
So,
Are they coming like forcefully? Are they
no,
coming and
no.
saying,
It's almost
just like, hey, follow us?
it's almost transactional, where they're escorted by a guard. The guard comes and gets you, and they go to give you just like normal shackles, but you see that the warden comes over and stops the guard before he gives you your shackles. He goes, "Oh, wait, not this one. She gets these." And you see he pulls out shackles that are just painted yellow, as if to signal that they're different than the others. And the guard goes, "Yes, sir." He shackles you with these bright yellow shackles, and the researcher just nods and rejoins the group. And you, before you leave the cell, Clara speaks up. She goes, "You're welcome, sister. You owe me." And she gives you a devious smile as you are ushered away by the guards.
What?
That's 12.
She's still going.
The warden's gonna throw you in the ocean.
So I think if I can try to talk to them before they take me away and say, I'm sorry, what's happening here?
The warden speaks up and he goes, "Well, this lot," and he points to just a group of prisoners who have like normal shackles. "They're going to Novea, doing a lot of research there, and they need volunteers. You, on the other hand, you are going to be dropped off at King's Hall."
For what?
"Not sure. All I know is that, unlike these guys, you're going to King's Hall. It seems like you're being given a shot at probation."
Okay. I don't know where King's Hall is, I don't think. All right.
"Good. You didn't have a choice anyways. Hurry on."
Shit.
And he
I think
just,
this is like, I don't know if Joelle has ever like sworn out loud before, but she absolutely does. She looks back at Clara one last time. Thank you.
she just gives you a little finger wave as you are ushered away.
Thanks for being my pants.
Wow. She goes, "And thank you for being my blouse, sister. Don't forget, you owe me." She makes her voice drop off as you're being led away to make it sound more ominous.
I think once I'm like out of earshot, I say like quietly to myself, I don't know what I owe her, but I hope I don't.
I hope it's not the ocean.
I hope I don't owe her.
She needs
anything.
4 more people, so that's like...
It's not
I think that would
happening.
make you even.
yeah.
No. Nope.
4
Yeah.
people, 1 favor.
With that, Jesus, with that cryptic message, you are ushered away, and you are
Where'd you say all the other prisoners were going? Novea?
Yeah.
Novea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure.
You are
Sugar.
being brought onto an airship. For the first time ever, you're going to fly. You see that the researchers, guards come with too, just to make sure everything goes smoothly and there's not a mutiny on ship. The researchers fly the ship. You get to sort of experience what it feels like to have the sky below you. But you're tucked away in the hull of the ship somewhere.
Am I able to, like, look out a window or something and see where we're flying?
Yeah, sure. You take a look out. There's like reinforced glass here. You see clouds below you as you sail through the sky, and you just see the earth rolling behind you. You see Brill quickly disappear, and not too many other little things catch your attention. You fly over different forests. You fly over just a massive plains, rolling hills. You see some small towns like Karth as you fly overhead. And eventually, you land in King's Hall.
Well, on to the next horizon.
Guard comes up to you and is like, don't know what that means, lady, but follow me. And you see that the other prisoners are looking at you almost like jealously because you seem to be getting some sort of special treatment. But you're taken off the ship. Researchers don't say anything. Again, for them, this is just purely transactional. The guard takes you through town for a little bit, and you make your way to the town square. You find yourself in front of an office building / workshop. The guard says, all right, this is your stop. This is your chance to earn your probation. They thought maybe it was too dangerous for you to work in Brill, so they sent you out to do community work for a different community. You should feel lucky you're not those guys. And he gestures back to the ship, which is, you can't see, but, you know, he just gestures behind him where he was at. I don't know what's going to happen to them, but they don't seem to come back, so.
Oh, okay. Thank you, I think.
Just avoid getting in trouble, because
Absolutely.
this is your one shot.
Yep.
He ushers you into the building. Garrett Larson is there waiting for you. And he goes, okay, that's enough with the shackles or whatever. I heard that you're going to be doing community service.
Yep, I heard the same.
He just puts a hand on your shoulder and he goes, great. We can use all the help we can get. And that's where we're going to end our session.
Oh, Garrett Larson's the guy. Everyone
Garrett is the
here.
guy.
Hi.
And again, the only person he hired wasn't just because he likes them.
Uh-oh. Thank you for listening to episode 2 of 4 as a Party, with AJ Maggio as Dante, Kevin Carter as Simon, Jonny Wayne as Morgan, Ashley DeSantis as Joelle, and me, Carmelo Santiago Jr. as your Dungeon Master. I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who has listened to our first episode, left reviews, and shared us with your friends. It helps us out immensely, so please keep it up. You can also follow us on our social media, at 4 as a Party Pod, and talk about our show using hashtag 4 as a Party. We look forward to seeing you next time for episode 3.